And joining us on our Great American panel, he is the chairman of Civic Forum PAC and co-founder of Project Virginia. Republican strategist Ford OConnell is here. He, a Democratic strategist. By the way, he's getting in great shape, lifting weights. He's a rock star. So Trippi is congratulations. And he's lifting. He just told me
looking pretty good,
he's
too.
He's benching 280, and I'm at 300. He's trying to catch up to me. I'm kidding. Former reporter and host on Fox Sports, currently host of NBC's Poker After Dark, model, TV personality, and the biggest supporter of the troops, along with Gary Sinise that I know. Leeann Tweeden is here. Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Great to hear.
We got to give the full context of this Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Colonel West controversy. Let's go back when Colonel West was running. Here's Debbie Wasserman Schultz attacking Colonel West.
It's no secret that Ron's opponent, Alan West, is a self-described right-wing extremist. In fact, he wears his extreme disrespect as a badge of honor. He thinks it's okay to objectify and denigrate women. He thinks it's okay to take away our reproductive freedom. Tea Party extremists have some real issues when it comes to women that they need to address. If they don't address them, we will with our voices and our vote.
Vicious attacks against a great American war hero. Now, let's go to after Colonel West supported cut, cap, and balance. Here's what she said on the House floor, by the way, against the rules. Here's what she said.
Incredulously, the gentleman from Florida who represents thousands of Medicare beneficiaries, as do I, is supportive of this plan that would increase costs for Medicare beneficiaries. Unbelievable from a member from South Florida.
So Colonel West responded in a private email to her that she made public. You are the most vile, unprofessional, despicable member of the House of Representatives. You have proven repeatedly that you're not a lady, therefore should not be afforded due respect for me. And he's, here's the point. You lie about me repeatedly, and you say these vicious, vile, untrue things. You know what? What does she expect?
Well, when I was a kid growing up, if you were going to pick a fight, you better pick it to my face. That's what I was always taught. If you want to say something to me, why don't you say it to me? I think it was strong language on both sides. I don't mind that he said it, and I think congressmen and women get into arguments like that all the time, and I don't see what the big deal of it that she's making on it.
She's trying to explain. She's acting like the innocent victim. She drew first blood.
She is not a withering flower. Let's face it.
Well, she's not. But the first clip you showed was as a candidate speaking against the candidate, and the second one she was on the floor and she called
denigrates women.
That's all fair game outside the House.
But
on the House floor, she didn't break any rules. She called
let's be honest for a second.
A colleague, all that good stuff. I mean, that's
But she lied about the substance, which is that Colonel West is going to take away people's Medicare benefits. That's a lie.
Colonel West could have shown some restraint, but the bottom line is Debbie Wasserman Schultz is just short of painful, okay? Everybody knows it. Both sides of the aisle. The Obama guys are scared of her, okay? But with that said, this would not be a page one item if the shoe had been on the other foot. This is media biased at its finest, and they're going to denigrate Colonel West. My PAC supported Colonel West, and we will continue to do so because he's a good American.
They want to take him down, and they're not going to be successful.
Absolutely.
He is a good American.
He is a good American.
In the end, this is going to raise a lot of money for both of them.
Well, there's a backstory to this. Supposedly, when he was running, there was pamphlets sent out to the people of South Florida with him and his wife's Social Security number. So there's things that were sort of on the left that they were doing.
Debbie Wasserman didn't do that.
But her party and everything.
But she was there when these horrific, vile, despicable things were said.
The media is rooting for the Democrats, and the bottom line is if you're a Republican and you step out of line, even for a second, the media is going to exploit it. And if you're a Democrat, you're going to be given a little bit of leeway for some passive-aggressive sort of taunting.
Go ahead.
I think that's fair. That's
I appreciate him as a politician just being direct and saying what he thought, and he said it to her.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's also not backing down. Let's go to what he said on Fox News earlier today. He was on America's Live right here on this channel, and here's what he said.
I can be very direct in my language, but so be it. I think that the people back in our district know about this history. They know about these attacks, and enough is enough.
Is there anything that you want to clarify or any part of your statement that you want to take back here today?
Not a chance.
I love when people don't apologize. I really do, because especially when he is giving the broader context of the relationship. You agree?
Yeah, and I think both sides are going to send out a bunch of emails pointing at each other saying, please send me money.
Welcome to election 2012.
They already have it.
That's all work for everybody.
All right, we'll get your thoughts on the budget. Steve Wynn's comments. Oh, it's a tradition. When Leeann Tweeden is here, she throws us out. More of our great American panel is next. Make it good. And we continue now with our Great American Panel. We heard, I thought Steve Wynn's rant was really powerful. Now we've got Investors Business Daily pointing out that, one of the co-founders of Home Depot, Bernie Marcus, is slamming the administration. I can tell you that today the impediments that the government imposes are impossible to deal with. Home Depot would never have succeeded if we tried to start it today. That's, and so many other business people saying this.
Absolutely. Well, America's economy has really ridden on the backs of small businesses. And, most of the businesses out there are small business people who are not going to be able to, like you said, get off the ground with all the regulations, all the red tape and the high taxes. I mean, when they're raising taxes, you're going to start letting people go because you can't afford it as a small business owner. And, I think that Obama and his administration really need to maybe have a conference with all these business leaders out there and go, hey, I don't think you really know what it's like to actually run a business, but let us tell you.
Mitt Romney, you're the political guy. Mitt Romney now is beating Obama. He's got a 39% reelect rate in the Gallup poll. These are devastating numbers. There's not a single metric on the economy where he's not in the 30s.
No, and he should be sitting down with the Bernie Marcuses that are and the Steve Wynns and at least hear out what's going on out there, because you're hearing this repeatedly from more and more business leaders. And in the end, look, the Obama administration needs to understand that it's about jobs and about turning the economy around. And all this debt ceiling stuff, in the end, I don't think is going to matter.
But this president doesn't.
If you don't turn
it around. He even acknowledged that today.
Yeah, it's going to be a big problem.
But you have to listen to someone like Bernie Marcus, because he really epitomizes the American. No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying he epitomizes the American dream. Here's someone who grew up in a tenement, okay, made a small business, and now he's a billionaire. He went from rags to riches better than anybody in America. And he's saying if he can't do it in this environment with somebody with that sort of ingenuity, how is anybody else going to get out of the gutter? They're not. Jobs in the economy will be there. And let me tell you something. Everybody in Florida with the unemployment rate is going to wake up one day and say, hey, we have buyer's remorse.
No, this is why I think on the debt ceiling debate, the Republicans have a far better hand than they even think, and that's why I'm so frustrated.
Well, Obama's winning that argument, though.
No, he's not. And
no, the Dems are controlling Washington. Is what's happening.
He's not winning the argument because, as Brent Bozell pointed out tonight, there's a poll out that shows that 74% of the American people support a balanced budget amendment. 63% support cut, cap, and balance, which is their plan. It's and the president's personal numbers are tanking. It's like healthcare. Every time he talks, it tanks.
He's winning the argument. In other words, all those facts may be true about 73% want a balanced budget amendment, but the Republicans aren't making a case in a way that's winning against the president. You look at the Washington Post.
Why are his numbers going down? That seems counterintuitive then.
Well, I don't know, but I know just as a person that lives out there, everyone's affected by the economy. People like me that I'm not an economist. I'm not a math major that's going. All I know is that gas prices are high. It's harder to buy a house. The money that was in my account isn't worth as much as it used to be. Everybody's hurting in a way that we can feel it. Maybe I'm not the one to say, hey, this is the plan that we should make, but we're relying on the people that we elect to make that for us, and they need to get it together and know that raising taxes is not the right way.
Just to add to that, I think there is an understanding among the American people that it's really not a revenue problem. The government is intoxicated.
We got a spending problem. That's the bottom line, and that's why what I think is going to wind up happening, because we're not going to be able to get a balanced budget amendment passed to Congress. We're going to have to go for a dollar for dollar tax cut and just keep going all the way down.
The debt ceiling.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And let me tell you something. If we target enough progressive programs, somebody like Harry Reid could even wind up switching parties over this, because they're going to just get fried in the Senate, and that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Harry Reid's going to switch parties.
No, I'm just kidding. I just want to get you awake.
Well,
Steve Wynn might help him.
No, but I think what's likelier to happen now is they're going to kick the can down the road again, because.
And how did they do it? Explain how.
I think actually the Boehner Obama thing about the $3 trillion that the administration's saying didn't happen, I don't know if it did or not, has an actual decent shot at happening, because it lets Boehner off the hook.
How does Boehner get off the hook?
He doesn't. There's no tax increases in it. There's nothing about tax.
That's the key.
And the key then becomes, can McConnell and Reid deliver between them, cobble 50 votes
together?
The problem. Because there aren't any progressive. The Russ Feingolds are sitting there anymore.
But the problem I see with that plan
not enough of
is that, it's partly the Bush tax cuts expire, so the tax increases are down the road. We're going to read the details, and I can tell you, conservatives like me are not going to support it.
Well, this is the issue of the decade, let's be honest. We're going to keep revisiting it over and over.
No
By the way,
raising
Leanne
cats.
puts on hearts on our football.
I mean, progressives are stuck
Are you
with.
mad at me for that?
Progressives
We like
are
that.
stuck
That's
with
a
these
signature.
guys.
All right, but that's all the time we have left this evening. As always, thank you for being with us. Let not your heart be troubled. The news continues